My name is Anna Solomon. I am the sales manager at Nextfab. We have been running this multi-part series that's focused on how to find your audience online. We have Mac Frederick, so founder, CEO, college athlete turned entrepreneur, currently serving as the founder and CEO of Momentum Digital.
Born from like a small business family, went to Penn State, studied business marketing, got recruited and went to work for Google in the small business department, doing Google ads for 2 years. Funny story is I started working with some of those clients on the side, doing SEO and social media web design type of stuff with my friend. Google found out, I got fired from Google, which forced me to go all in to start this agency. So a lot of what we do is we help these entrepreneurs and business owners who are technicians. If you read the E-Myth, help them learn about marketing and sales and branding so that they can establish their business more so around their initial skill set.
What is a brand, and what are the components that make up a brand?
The context and association that people have surrounding a company. As for small brands, like a lot of people probably listening in on this conversation might have a smaller brand or company. I think it's really important for those people to understand and identify what they do best. Branding, I think for small businesses initially starts with a person who then helps define the brand based on what they're best at. So for Momentum, it's using Google for small businesses. So we help people understand and utilize Google to grow their business. And so that's really our value proposition. So for other small business owners, you've got to be able to communicate something very quick. And that should be the first thing that people see whenever they associate themselves. Like for instance, if they land on your website, what is it that you do? Don't make it long-winded. I think a lot of small businesses fail because they're trying to do too much, meaning I've got one store, I'm happy, but I can do more. I can do 2 stores, I can do 3 stores. And then when you do that, you waste a lot of time and money, you go into debt and you're fully leveraged on cash, and then you lose the sense of pride and the ability to create something and mimic it and mirror it across every aspect of your business. And that's when a lot of brands fail. That's when a lot of small businesses fail, is because they don't live in the moment and appreciate what they have and are happy with what they currently have, which is why in other countries, you'll see businesses, small mom and pop shops around 100 years, because they're not trying to build into a huge chain or franchise. They're happy, they're feeding their family, they're creating a living, but some people, especially in the US, we're so capitalistic here. We have to go on to the next biggest shiny object and try to impress everybody and make everybody else feel some type of way about us. But internally, what's that do for yourself? I don't think that really makes people happy. And I think a lot of people focus on the wrong things, both when they're starting a business and both when they're growing it.
How do I create awareness for my brand when I don't have a chance to physically connect with potential customers?
I think it really depends on what you're selling. If it's one of those products, like if you're selling food, it's going to be tough to sell it online, even though you have Instagram, which is very visual. But it depends how visual your product is, and if it's something that people need to, hold, smell, or taste. I think one of the mistakes most small businesses make when starting a business is they just jump right into it without thinking through many things. For example, when you're talking about branding, a lot of people just they go with what they want and what they like, when a lot of times we're so biased because maybe we like a certain color, or we like a certain design or aesthetic. But why are we not? You need to have your exact customer persona in mind, like Nick was talking about. Who is this for? Is it for someone just like you? Then find people just like you. It doesn't need to necessarily be your friends or family. Ask other people. Be like, hey, do you know someone who's very similar to me that might be interested in these type of products? Is there any way that you can introduce me so I can have a conversation with them? Offer them a free product, let them test it out, get their feedback, ship it to them, let them hold it and feel it and test it out, and then get feedback. And then also start really just create a Facebook group, a community. I think a lot of small businesses need to do better jobs creating online communities, especially in the world we're living in, where you can, almost have a little cohort of people that are brand evangelists who they can do a lot of the marketing for you, because people hang around similar people, and we're going to start doing that more online. So
any tips when you and your personality are part of your brand identity?
I mean, you are who you are. Maybe just get a little bit of feedback from friends and family and see if you're coming off like abrasive or offensive, or if there's anything that you need to not be saying. But other than that, I think if you enjoy it and you're happy doing it, and you're not afraid or ashamed to be the face of the brand, then by all means, I think you should definitely do that. Just be cognizant of what, if you're coming off in a negative way.
Any more tips for setting up a successful Facebook/Instagram ad campaign?
First thing you want to do is, your business page, you already have insights in the back end of that. So you can take a look at your insights, how much traffic you're getting, what type of people. You can also go into and see what your competitors are posting. You can see how much engagement they're getting on those posts. You can recreate the wheel, add your own spin to it. As for paid advertising, make sure you're setting up the Facebook business page and then setting up a Facebook ad account. From there, you're going to want to create a Facebook pixel, and you're going to want to put that on your website, because that's going to track all the users coming in, and it collects data about those people. So that pixel, that piece of code on your website, is going to understand everything about each one of these people. And then you can create these personas like Nick and I are talking about, using that data from the Facebook pixel in the Insights tab within the Facebook Ads Manager. And from there, you can really create ads and test those ads on Facebook and Instagram. Test different ad variations, different ad copy, different images, designs. You want to test everything with a minimum amount of budget. If you're a small business owner, it's going to be really tough. But I'd also probably, even before that, maybe create the different ads and copy and run it by some friends. Do some like little Instagram poll. Do you like this one or do you like this one? Get some feedback before you even put money behind it, because every dollar counts when you're a small business owner. Do
you recommend carrying your brand into things like shipping? And if so, do you recommend this at every stage, or for cost reasons, maybe wait?
For one, it kind of depends on the product. Like if you're just selling trinkets for like $1 a piece, maybe not. It does depend on the product. So if it's something that's a little bit more expensive or that needs more time and care and delicacy, I definitely think you should put more into it.
How did you get 13,000 followers on Instagram, and does it affect your sales?
I honestly just know a lot of people, and anytime I meet someone, I typically ask them for their Instagram instead of their phone number now, because a lot more people answer DMs instead of text messages. It's a weird time we're living in. For Momentum, whenever I started the companies, there used to not really be a limit on how many people you could ask and like invite to like your pages, but I would do that on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I would invite everybody, and I think if you have like a big networking following, typically people are interested in seeing what others are doing, whether they want to comment or engage with it or not. And then for Momentum, doing things like this, being on like webinars, events, conferences, speaking engagements. I put a video out in like 2017 that's like the 3 keys to networking. And the one thing I would always do, like after even something like this or like a networking event, I'd get the business card, but then I'd look them up on social media and I'd follow them from my account, or at least my business account, every time. And typically people would follow back, because it's so, like if you do it a week later, they might not remember you. And then one other thing that we did for a while, which we still sometimes do, is we collaborate with other influencers. So like photographers in the area will repost their content and, give them a shout out and, tag them in a story, and then maybe they'll repost it on their story, and we'll siphon followers from that. There's a lot of different strategies you can employ. For e-commerce, I would definitely go Shopify over Squarespace. Squarespace is amazing for like a local small business. It's so quick and easy to build out on Shopify, and it integrates really well with social media, like running, dynamic shopping campaigns as ads on Facebook and Instagram. The SEO features are really easy to use, and adding, uploading, and editing products are incredibly easy. When we talk about Etsy, I would keep your Etsy shop, keep your account, because that also, you can link from your Etsy to your Shopify or Squarespace site, which will help for SEO as a backlink.
What are some of your book, podcast recommendations around this topic that you find really helpful?
I always listen to the Gary Vee podcasts. I've read his books. I listen to Noah Kagan Presents. He talks a lot about marketing and branding. I listen to Tim Ferriss. He's got a pretty good podcast. As for books, Richard Branson, The Virgin Way, I think is a really good one. And probably Simon Sinek, Start With Why. You can find me anywhere on social media, just search Mac Frederick. For Momentum Digital, just search Momentum Digital. Both accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn.